Hi, I'm Cindy with ResinObsession, and we have some new products that I'd like to introduce to you. First of all, we have ResinObsession Super Clear Resin. It was formulated to be as clear, bubble-free, and beautiful as possible. Okay, it is a 2-to-1 mix, so it's 2 parts of the larger bottle of the resin. Okay, and then 1 part of the smaller bottle, the hardener. Okay, so that just means that if you're going to mix 2 ounces of one, then 1 ounce of the other one. If you want to mix 4, and then it's 2 of the hardener. Okay, and we have an easy little guide like that on the website for the Super Clear Resin. Now, first of all, as always, you really want to protect yourself. This formulation is as gentle as possible, but many of you are pouring a lot of resin, and so it's just always a good idea, you know, to wear your gloves, to wear a fumes mask, okay, and also some little eye goggles. Okay, those are just good ideas, okay, to protect yourself. But you will pretty much notice that this resin has almost no odor whatsoever, okay? And it's not as toxic. All resins in their liquid form are toxic, okay? So you don't ever want to be drinking this stuff or anything like that. But this one is formulated to be less toxic than most, okay? So you want to protect yourself, and then you also want to protect your work surface. You can use freezer paper. You can use page protectors, okay? You can even open them up if you want, you know, for a larger area. Or you can use shopping bags or big, huge trash bags if you need to cover the whole table type of thing, okay? So, also, on the bottles, they will come with regular screw caps on them, and these little nozzle toppers are provided in the package for you, and what you will want to do is snip off the very top part to open that up, okay, and then you want to be sure and always close it back. Now, like with all resins, they all work best at certain temperatures, okay, and most of the epoxy resins work best at about a 75 degrees. But if you will just take the bottle and feel of it, and if it feels cold to you, it's probably just a little bit colder than optimum, than the best temperature for it, okay? Now then, there are several ways you can warm up your resin. Sometimes I just use body heat, you know. You put off quite a bit of heat right there, so while you're finishing, you know, setting up or something like that, you could do that. You could put them in a bowl of warm water. You just want to be very careful about that. Resin does not like water, doesn't like humidity and those types of things, and you really don't want to get water into your bottles. But there is another option, and that would be to place them in a hot box. Okay, so when I say hot box, this is what I'm referring to, and this is something that ResinObsession has designed. It's actually very simple, but it does a great job at warming up your resin. We are going to have smaller boxes available, but anyway, on to this. So there's a light bulb back there in the back, and then also a temperature gauge, so you can see, you know, at what temperature the light bulb does. And I keep my resin in the hot box, and when I'm going to work with it, like normally it's off, the light is off, but then when I'm going to work with the resin, I'll turn the light on, close it up, and let it heat up in there a little bit, okay? So there you go. There's an alternate way to getting your resin warm. Okay, we're back now. Now then, if you do get some resin, you know, on your skin, you can either go and wash it off with some soap and water, or you can also keep handy some little wipes, okay, and then just wipe the stuff off then. Okay, so the super clear resin is a 2-to-1 mixture, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, so it's easier to see your measure lines if you go ahead and mark them with a colored pen. So it doesn't matter whether you're using ounces or drams or tablespoons, just as long as it's a 2-to-1. Okay, so what I've done here on the small measuring cup is I've marked 2 drams, okay, and then plus 1 dram, so that would be 3. So it's going to be 2 of the resin and 1 of the hardener. Okay, so now we've got that ready. Now then, for your mold, you know, I just always suggest mold release. Yes, silicone molds don't have to have it, and yes, the polypropylene molds don't have to have it, but if you're mixing or you're casting a lot, okay, over and over and over again, why not just spray just a little bit in there, and it will extend the life of your molds. Okay, so you know, just needs a light little spray, and so we'll go ahead and spray our mold now to give that a chance to dry while we mix up and stuff. Okay, so now we're ready to mix. Okay, so I'm going to take the larger bottle, which is the resin, and I'm going to squeeze out 2 parts. And you'll notice it's kind of thick. You want to be as accurate as possible. You know, if you fill up to the bottom of the line, then make sure the hardener is to the bottom of the line. Just make sure, you know, you use the same measurement for each one. Okay, so now I'm going to put in 1 part of the hardener, and you'll notice that it's almost like water. It's very liquidy. Okay, and that is to help release the bubbles. Okay, this is also an excellent resin for teaching, you know, because it can cure in 1 hour in the hot box. Okay, so now we're going to mix up the resin, and you want to be gentle with it. Use like a folding action. Okay, now if you see that it's kind of cloudy, or you can see little streaks in it, it's just not mixed yet. Okay, another thing that I found out was that the wood stirrers, the popsicle sticks, okay, they hold moisture. And what does moisture do? Moisture adds bubbles to your mixture. Okay, so ResinObsession now has reusable stir sticks, and they're in a paddle shape with a flat bottom, and the sides are angled, so you can scrape the bottom and you can scrape the edges. Okay, and you may be mixing for a minute, okay, depending on how much you poured, how much you're mixing.